Today I'm going to sit in my car on a night with the lights on like this, like a super dumb person, and they're probably going to go off and I'm going to have to like turn them on again. And I'm going to yell at you and I'm going to tell you why we have to go to space. As a species, as a country, as all countries, as humans, we must go to space. This is not some 12-year-old version of a story saying we must go to space. This is how it all starts off. You know, as children saying, as children, we're always very, very inclined towards the big and the ideals. And we look up at the stars and we're like, we must explore. We read science fiction. We watch Star Wars. We watch Star Trek, and we say, we've got to do these things. But then we grow older. We get into high school, our 20s, and things start to crack away at the big dreams and the big aspirations and the things and that seem important to us when we were children. And for a lot of us, that was science, that was exploration. And as we get into adulthood, we become more and more disenfranchised with the world around us, and we realize that things aren't as they seem, which is true. And so what do? We throw off, right? We become cynical, and we say, in general, we say in many different ways, but even specifically and literally, we say that space, it's worthless. We're never going to reach Mars. We're never going to reach Venus. We're never going to reach Alpha Centauri. It's light years away, and we can't have that kind of technology. We don't have that kind of technology. And even if we did, even if we had the money, we should use it to solve hunger, world hunger. And we've got all these different people in the world who are fighting each other, and everything's going to shit, and everything is just terrible. This is how pretty much everyone in this world views things. And so guess what happens? Space gets swept under the rug as some nicety, some curiosity, some, the 5-minute segment on the news. Oh, that's interesting. So-and-so just launched team at NASA so-and-so launched a trip to Mars or a probe to Mars. That's cool. 5 minutes later, back to worrying about the traffic and the war in such and such a country and the football game. And here we are. And it's not to say that there are certain things that everyone loves and that are valuable. This is not the point. We sweep the biggest, most important things, the things that should have been the most important things in our society. We sweep them under a rug as a society. If Ferdinand Magellan and Christopher Columbus and the Wright brothers and Alec Bell and any of these people that we're supposed to admire in history could see the way we're living and the things we care about, they would be revolving in their graves. What do we care about now? We care about the war in this country and whose land is ours and all of these things. And I'm not going to yell the poem now, but I you've got to go and look up The Pale Blue Dot by Carl Sagan, because that poem, I mean, it's just truth. We're all on this pale little blue dot. Everyone's just fighting over each other's dirt. And no one really seems to see the problem. And people say, look, like, why should we go to space, Kevin? Why should we go to space when we can spend all this money and resources and effort on actually solving problems on Earth? It's because of this. Look, I want you to think about all the different countries and all the different cultures around the world. And I want you to think, what do we have in common? We don't have much in common. Stupid light won't even turn back on. What? Hold on. Oh well. Just gonna have to deal with this. Okay? We don't have much in common with these other cultures. Our religions are different. We have different goals. And because of that, we war. But I'm telling you one thing we all do. There's not a single child ever born with red blood flowing through his veins that has ever in the history of humanity not gone outside and laid underneath the stars and wondered what the actual hell is out there. And the parents come and they wake up the child and they say, Allah or Yahweh or so and so wants you to do this and that and the other, and don't worry about the stars, because this is the story of how you got here and what you're supposed to do in the world, and and Christ died for your sins, and therefore this is the way you're supposed to live in the world. I hope that I'm going to leave it at that brevity, but you get what I'm trying to say. And so everyone gets brainwashed into their own little tiny pillar of, and they forget the nights that they laid up at the stars. And the Muslim kid in Arabia doesn't know that there's a Christian kid in Arkansas who doesn't know that there's a kid in Asia, and they're all 5 years old at the same time, lying on the ground, looking up at the stars, thinking the exact same thing about the universe. And if we could just understand this as adults, if we could just get this through the next generation's mind, our mind and our kids' minds, that the questions we have are all the same. Our cultures are different, absolutely, but the questions we have are all the same. And what is the answer to all these questions? The answer is build a freaking rocket and go to space. Do whatever it takes. NASA has literally like a freaking 1% of the budget, and we're spending half of our budget on blowing people up. And right, like people are gonna be like, oh, we got a little John Lennon here. If you can only imagine us going to space. I don't care, right? I don't care what people say. Naivety, whatever. Look, space is not a hobby. It should be worshipped. And I'm saying this, and like I'm saying this in a way that is going to piss a lot of people off. And literally, we're in the darkness. We're in space now. I didn't even know this would happen. You're literally just going to have to keep hearing me yell, because I didn't even know. This is the first time filming in my car at night, and this all just came to me, so just put up with it. Oh my goodness. Who cares? And so we have to understand that space, as you can see now, it literally just looks like space. You can just think of them as stars. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. We used to worship the sun. We should worship the stars. And I'm not saying we have to do that anymore. I'm just saying space exploration as a goal cannot just be, out of curiosity, let's go see what's out there. We need to sacrifice our blood and our sweat and our tears, because it's the only, and I'm not even saying this from a perspective of being like, this isn't just the 12-year-old me saying, oh, I want to go explore space. No, this is saying this will end wars, or at least it will be a force and a goal for humanity to strive towards, to end wars. Why? Why do we not? Each person, not everyone has to play a part in it, but we need as a society to stop putting these wrong things in order. If we can all just say, if we can all just access our childhood selves to say, that part of me that we were looking up at the stars as children, let's keep that alive. Let's actually make space exploration, aka the next frontier, let's actually make that a goal that we sacrifice for and strive for. Why? Because this is the only objective goal that everyone can agree on. And you might say, well, not everyone's going to agree on it. Like, some religions don't think that we should go to space, and some other people say, like, why colonize why colonize other planets? Isn't that parasitic? And all these different things. And I might make some more videos about that later, but the point of the matter is, if you are human and you believe that humans, if you are a natural, healthy, mental person, and most of us kind of are not sometimes, and to that I would say, go for a walk, become a healthy person. But if you're a healthy mental person, it is not evil to do what nature does. What I mean by that, it is not evil for nature to expand. We are nature. We are nature. The earth, and I just want to address the most common, since I'm yapping so much about space, I want to address the most common objection to space exploration, which is that it is colonial by nature, and that it's like, and that humans are a parasite to the planet. This is an evil idea, corporation. And you know what? Sometimes I even think, like, sometimes I understand why. Like it's sometimes a tempting thing to believe when things are so rough, and you feel like your own life is so awful, and like it can be a tempting thing to believe that, man, maybe us as humans, maybe we should all just kind of fade into history books, and the next dinosaurs will take our place, right? So that's almost sometimes a tempting thing to believe, but it's not truthful. It's not truthful, because we were gifted life. We were gifted life, and sunsets, and ice cream, and black holes, and just freaking the stars at night over the ocean. We were gifted these things, and it is not evil to want to understand more about the universe, and to expand and survive. And the more we do that, and I'm serious, the more we do that, the more we can understand and know and take better care of each other, and lessen our own suffering and the suffering of those around us, and even the animals around us. The more we understand about the universe, and the more we conquer the universe, and the more we travel space, the better everything will become. There is no other material goal that I can think of more important, in a way, than space exploration, because it is the uniting factor. Everyone can agree that we were not, and then we were, on a spinning ball, suspended in nothing. And so that statement right there is pretty much the only thing that everyone on the planet can agree on. Therefore, if we want to finally organize into one so-called happy family, which I don't think is fully possible ever, but if we want to make progress towards organizing to a happy family, the first question we should ask is, okay, we're stuck on a ball. So, does anyone know how to get off the ball? Get on the ball, guys. Get on the ball, because we really need to get off the ball. That was lame, and I don't know how to end this, but just go to space. Just go to space. Do whatever it takes. I don't care. Bye.